Hello, everybody. This is Sergeant Hicks with you today, and I'm here with the legendary Tony Garrett with Crimestoppers, and we are going to talk about some of the neat things they're doing, some of the initiatives they have going on right now. Tony, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad to be here.
Tony, tell us a little bit about, if you will, about some of the programs that you have. First, let's start with the program that you have in the schools that you offer a reward for information that leads to the arrest or the apprehension of a gun. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, due to the last events that occurred this past week, it's a good time. We have a program that we pay out $500, up to a $500 reward for any gun that's confiscated on school grounds or even at a school function or sanctioned event, such as a football game, basketball game. And the way it works is that if there's a student, faculty members, staff, don't matter. If they come across a gun or they know a student that has a gun, all they have to do is go to their school resource officer or someone in administration and say that, hey, this person has a gun on their possession on school grounds. After the police get involved and they take that gun away, we'll pay out $500 anonymously, of course, later on.
Absolutely. That's a great way to identify guns in school. This is a really great program, and we can really see how this can be useful. Tony, how successful has this program been in the past?
We teamed up with ATF. They actually partnered with us about 2 years ago. Within that 2 years, we've confiscated more than 25 guns out of schools. 2 in the last month, in February.
That's fantastic, and that's a great way to identify these weapons, identify students with weapons, and you guys are making a lot of progress in that. Tony, tell me, outside of the schools, if I'm a parent or I'm a relative or I'm a friend of a friend and I know someone that has a weapon, what should I do?
Well, we have another program, and this came about when they had the shooting of the Bellingraph student a couple of years back. There was a student that was walking away from Bellingraph school after school, and these people drove up and they shot into the crowd, killing one of our students. We received numerous calls, and there was Crimestoppers tips that was able to identify the suspects and get them into custody. Every last person that called me said that this student or this young male had been kicked out of school, but he was still driving around to multiple schools and just being on the outside. And they said they didn't know that they could call Crimestoppers to tell on this student at that time. So the County District Attorney, Darrell Bailey, Sheriff Cunningham, Chief Finley, we all got together and we decided to, the Mayor Strange, got together and banded together to pay out $300 or offer a $300 reward for any youth that has a gun in their possession, and you call Crimestoppers or call the police, whoever, and we get that gun out of their possession, we'll pay out $300. Just today, before this interview, we received a gun in.
That's great, and you guys are really doing a lot of great things. Tony, also, we know about the Crimestoppers program that you have, that you offer rewards for tips that lead to arrests of criminals and things of that nature. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Of course, 215-STOP, or you can go to our P3 apps, download on iTunes or Android, and we pay out reward money up to $1,000 for any unsolved crime or any information that leads to arrest of a criminal. That's 24/7, 365 days a year. If you know of someone that's committed a crime, all you have to do is call 215-STOP. We want you to call the police, but sometimes people cannot call the police because of maybe they know who the person is, maybe they have a fear of calling the police, maybe they have a fear of being retaliated on. That's where we step in. We get that information and we turn it directly over to law enforcement without you being identified.
Fantastic, Tony. And you guys also, we know that we kind of back on the schools, that you guys are involved in mentorship programs. You're involved in other things in school. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing in the schools?
Well, we have a small staff, so sometimes we're limited as far as how much we can do. But when we have the availability and the volunteers. We have peer mediation that goes on in the schools where we teach conflict resolution, and the actual students mediate conflicts within the schools. That's empowering the students to actually take back their school and to make sure that their school is safe as an individual. Also, this summer in July, we're planning on training 40 police officers in the river region to be school resource officers. What that does is a big impact because it's giving the police officer that's assigned to a school more tools to use. So when they're inside that school, they're not there as a security guard. They're actually there to pretty much provide service, speak to the kids, get information on a lot of things.
Fantastic, Tony. And as we close out on this, we just want to thank you for what Crimestoppers does, and I know the citizens appreciate it, and the police department, we really appreciate what you do. But if a citizen wants to donate, they want to help the cause of Crimestoppers, how can they do that?
During the week, you can call 215-STOP, or you can go to our website, press the donate button, and please, we're a community program, and that's how we survive, is through donations.
That's fantastic, Tony. Now, when we look at the future of Crimestoppers, is there anything big on the horizon that you can tell us about?
We're always planning to expand and do things for the community. One of the biggest things that we have is we want to expand our $500 gun reward program that I just told you about and make it a statewide program because there are people that want to do bad things in our schools, and there are students that just want to go to school to learn. We want them to have the ability to empower themselves to make their schools safe. We're also trying to go statewide where we can serve the state entities that go to smaller communities or counties and they need media resources. We're trying to provide that for the state. So hopefully we'll be statewide within the next year or two.
That's fantastic, Tony. And you know, I'm reminded of the saying that snitches get stitches. And I know that the great thing about Crimestoppers is people can remain anonymous. And is that something that you can assure people that if they submit a tip or they tell you information, that's going to remain anonymous?
Since 1997, we have not had not one person to be identified through our system, unless they wanted to be identified. We had just last year, we solved a double homicide in Brundage, Alabama. And the tipster pretty much was able to come forward, but that tipster decided to testify. That's the only time that we've had someone to actually be identified through Crimestoppers, and they were willing to be identified to testify.
So we encourage everyone, go ahead and call 215-STOP if you have information. If you need Crimestoppers services, please reach out to them. They're here for you to help. And they're also, if you have a few dollars to donate to them, they'd be happy to take that as well to help make the program even better, and they're nonprofit, so they need our help from the community as well. Tony, thank you again for joining us today, and we really appreciate you being a part of this interview.
Thank you.